Hey, it's Tyler from Northbeam. Today I'm going to show you how to use our new breakdown manager. So for context, breakdowns are the main way that we can organize your campaigns, ad sets, and ads. Maybe you're hoping to break out your regions into different groups. Maybe you're hoping to break out your funnels into different groups, or maybe your different products. These are three great use cases for our breakdowns. To find the existing breakdowns within your dashboard, you can use this dropdown right here on the Sales tab. So you'll see 4 pre-made breakdowns, which are included on every dashboard by default. All the other ones below are ones that have been custom made by either your team or maybe our team has helped you out in the past. Our new tool allows you to more easily make new breakdowns or edit your existing breakdowns. So there's 2 ways to access the new breakdowns manager. The first way is in this menu in the top right corner and hit manage breakdowns. Or you could hit these 3 dots and hit create new breakdown or manage breakdowns. They'll both go to the new tool. So let's dive into it and hit manage breakdowns to begin. So when you hit manage breakdowns, you'll be taken to this screen. Every single one of these rows is a separate breakdown that is in that drop-down menu within the sales page. So at a high level, there's 2 main ways to make breakdowns. The first way is to make breakdowns using rule-based logic. And the second way is to use manual label assignment. So let's dive into the first way. So first, we're going to hit add breakdown. And you'll see here, this is our new creative breakdown editor. So we have a couple ways to proceed here. The first way is to create a breakdown from scratch. So as an example, let's just say I wanted to make a breakdown that separated all of my different regions, and the regions are denoted in my campaign names, specifically for Google and Facebook ads. So let's just give this a name. Maybe it's something like regional breakdown. And then the first segment is, let's just say it's US. So it's going to be called US. And then define criteria. So this is where you define essentially the naming conventions and or UTM source, medium, campaign, term content, or even a custom spend sheet. So in this case, because I'm going to be looking for the campaign names within my Facebook and Google ads, I'm going to use name, as this refers to the campaign name, ad set name, or ad name. So I'm going to do name contains US, and let's just say also have an underscore, just like that. Next, I'm going to hit apply to. Now, within this menu, I can be a little bit more specific with this segment. This first row here indicates the level of granularity that this segment will take place in. So we have all, campaigns, ad sets, and ads. So for me, because this is going to be taking place at the campaign level, I'm going to change this to campaigns. But let's just say maybe this was an audience level rule or maybe even a creative level rule. Those could take place at the ad set level or even ad level. And all of these refer to the different tabs within your sales page. Next, down here, we can filter by specific platforms or even by any existing breakdowns. So in this case, we want to target Facebook and Google. So I'm going to select those 2 platforms here. But if you scroll down, you'll see a list of all the different platforms we have. These are all the different platform groupings that are part of our default platform breakdown and not necessarily the ones that are in your account. So when you select your platforms, please be sure that it is a platform that is actually within your dashboard with data behind it. And then going over to custom, from here, you're able to select your own breakdown as well as multiple breakdowns. So maybe you want to get super specific and hone in on a single grouping or a single segment that is within a specific custom breakdown or maybe multiple specific breakdowns. You can do that here. So I'm going to go back to platforms and just hit Facebook and Google and hit apply. Here, you're able to see how many matches that this segment has. So this is a good way to check your breakdown to see if it's actually tagging the campaigns that you're expecting. So just for this example, I've removed the underscore, and now you'll see that there's 5 matches. Now, if you hover your cursor on this segment row, you'll see this icon called show matches. So this is just another way to see the exact campaigns that are falling within this segment. And so I'm in an anonymized view, so everything is blurred out. But on your end, you'll see all the campaigns, ad sets, and ads that are correlated with this specific segment. In addition, if you hover your cursor over this metadata column, you can see all the pieces of metadata that are attached to that specific campaign. And so you can use any of these pieces of logic for your segment. And so for example, it might say something like UTM source, UTM campaign, term, content, etc. And so I would like to say you can use this as a cheat sheet in case you're looking to group a certain campaign in a certain way, but you're unsure on how to create the logic. You can always look up that campaign using, the search bar, see the metadata associated to it, or maybe it's a group of campaigns, find a common piece of metadata, and then use that within your logic to make the segment. Next, I wanted to review making segments for custom spend sheets. So in this dropdown, you'll see that we have an option for custom spend sheets. And now what we can do is include the name of the spend source. And what this refers to is how your spend source is named within your custom spend sheet. And so I have two example spend sheets right here. We have a campaign level, and we also have a platform level. So starting off with the platform level, as you know, we need to put all the spend sources in this input tab. And you should have edit access, and you could essentially name this row to whatever you'd like. Enter it here in row 1. So let's just say it was like something like Twitter, and we wanted to pull this spend into this rule. All I would do is simply put Twitter. Now the campaign spend sheet is a little bit different. We have a row for the platform and a row for the campaign. And so what we do here essentially is we pull in both names separated by a hyphen. So as an example, let's just say this was, again, Twitter, and maybe this was called Creative Campaign 1. Now, I'm going to show you how it's populated within your dashboard so you know how to make a rule for these. So it's simply the platform name, followed by a hyphen, followed by the campaign name. So it would look something like this. So now if I wanted to make a rule for this, all I needed to do is just use this exact format. Something like this. Or maybe I had multiple Twitter campaigns, just like this, and I wanted to make a rule that captured all of them. I can just do something just like Twitter, just like that. Something else I wanted to review is knowing when to use name versus using UTM campaign, term, and content. So like I mentioned earlier, name refers to the specific campaign name, ad set name, or ad name. But this specific name uses NBT parameters. So essentially, this only looks for campaign names, ad set names, and ad names from platforms that have NBT parameters. So this essentially refers to any platform that uses NBT tracking parameters. For example, Facebook ads, you'll see NBT right here, as well as Google, as well as TikTok ads, which is right here. But something like Twitter ads, right, you'll see we use NB platform, but we don't use NBT. And so NBT is the parameter that actually pulls in your campaign names, ad set name, and ad names. So if you do want to make a rule for something like Twitter, please push these values into a standard parameter, such as campaign, content, term, and you're able to make a rule out of it. So at a high level, that's how to make a breakdown from scratch. Now, the second way is making a breakdown using a template. So up here, you'll see 3 boxes: platform, category, targeting. And these 3 boxes refer to the 3 default breakdowns that are part of every single Northbeam dashboard. You've probably seen platform, but we also have category and targeting. So if I click one of these, what this will do is essentially make a duplicate of this breakdown. And so you can use this as a starting point. Here, you'll see all these segments that have been pre-populated for you. All the different segments that are part of our default platform breakdown. Now, keep in mind, just because you see the segments here doesn't mean you actually have these channels running. So for example, Trade Desk is part of this platform breakdown, but this account actually isn't running Trade Desk. And you'll see here, all the matches are populating, and there'll likely be no matches. We wanted to slightly adjust this platform breakdown. Maybe we wanted to make a new segment for, maybe let's call it affiliate. Let's just say for all my affiliates, UTM source is affiliate. And just make this segment and hit save. So now this new breakdown will be created. Let's just give this a name. Platform new. We hit save. And now this will be saved as a new breakdown. So like mentioned, this can be done with platform, category, or targeting. So I've just reviewed how to make breakdowns using what we call our simple editor. But if you wanted to get a little bit more advanced, we have something called the advanced editor. Now this might look a little familiar as this was in our old labeling tool. So from here, I'm in the advanced editor. I'm going to hit new segment. And from here, what we can do is essentially be very granular and very specific with the logic of each segment. Let's just say we wanted to make a segment for US and UK campaigns. So I'm going to name this US and UK. Next is the rank. So the rank is essentially the priority. So let's just say there was one campaign that matches multiple segments. The rank determines which segment will take priority. The lower the number, the higher the priority. Next, you can define what level this rule will be at. So again, this correlates with where this rule will live within the sales page. So whether that's at the campaign, at our ad level. And then from here, what we can do is create the logic. And so if I open up this tab, I don't know if you can see it on your end, but you'll see this drop down of all the different pieces of metadata that you're able to make the logic with. So let's just say I wanted to do campaign name, and then we have a bunch of regex statements, but if you're unfamiliar, you can always use starts with, ends with, contains, not contains. So let's just, for simplicity, I'm going to do contains US underscore, and then make an or statement, and do the same with UK. And then for the output value, this is how they will be grouped within your dashboard. And so the difference between the output value and the real name is that this is how it's going to be named in this internal tool in this menu, but the output label refers to what will be named within your dashboard. So I often like just making these the same just so it's very clear. At the bottom, just like in the simple editor, we have the simulation where you can see all the different campaigns that this segment will match to. So in green, you'll see all the campaigns that match. If you scroll over, again, you could look at the metadata. And so again, feel free to use this to help you make your logic. Maybe you're hoping to group together several campaigns and you're looking for a common piece of metadata. You can use this as a cheat sheet. Breakdowns using name-based rules. The second way is to make breakdowns using our label assignments tool. And what this is essentially just a manual assignment. So from here, what you're going to see is every row is a different campaign, and you'll have the campaign name, the status, whether it's manually overridden, which refers to this tool, and all the different segments that it's part of. So for example, this first campaign right here, you'll see that category affiliate, channel MMM is AWIN, country is US, etc. So you can see all the different breakdown segments that this campaign is a part of. So let's just say I wanted to regroup this. So instead of making a name-based rule, what I can do is just simply select it, hit update selected, and then let's say I wanted to change the country to EU. I can do that and hit yes override. Now this is really helpful if you're hoping just to relabel or move one campaign or a couple campaigns to an existing segment. You can always make a new segment if you'd like. So let's just go back to this update selected tool, select the country breakdown. Maybe I wanted to make a new segment for Japan. I'm going to put JP. I can hit create, then hit yes, override. Up here, you'll see all different filters. So maybe you're looking for a specific campaign that's part of a particular platform, right? Instead of using the search bar, maybe you wanted to just use a filter where like platform equals Facebook ads, and you wanted to hone in on a specific Facebook ad. In addition, this manually overridden, like mentioned before, refers to all the campaigns that have been overridden by this label assignment. So this essentially overrides any rules that are created in this other manage breakdowns tool, whether that's using the simple editor or the advanced editor. And lastly, just wanted to review a couple other examples of common use cases of breakdowns. So one example are high-level buckets, right? I know by default, we break down your campaigns by the platform. Some customers really like their campaigns to be organized at a higher level. So maybe paid social, paid search, organic social, organic search, email, SMS, and maybe direct. Here, I'm actually going to make this from scratch just because that segmentation is not very similar to any of these three. So I'm going to give it a name, high level buckets, for example. And then this first segment is going to be paid social. And then I'm going to leave the criteria blank because this is strictly going to be off of the platforms, not necessarily the naming conventions. So you'll see now I've made all the different buckets. So just do a quick run through. Paid social, I have Facebook and TikTok ads. Paid search, Google and Microsoft. Organic social, we have all of the, I'll just filter for here. We have Facebook, organic, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. Organic search, this is the platform itself, so all I did was just select it individually. Email, SMS, I selected Klaviyo and Attentive. And then direct, I just used organic, which is how we refer to direct within Northbeam. Last example, let's just say I wanted to group together my Twitter revenue with my Twitter spend. That way I can see my formulaic metrics such as ROAS, such as CPA, or CAC in this case. We can use a breakdown for that. So let's just call this Twitter. And I'm just going to name this Twitter. And then from here, as long as you're using the UTMs in our Twitter UTM guide, the revenue should be grouped as Twitter. So what you need to do is define criteria, custom spend sheet, whoops, contains, and I'm just going to do Twitter. And then we can leave this blank since the spend isn't tied to a platform by default. But let's just say maybe you're not using our UTMs and our UTM guide and you're not using NB platform equals Twitter. We can use this one rule to group together the Twitter spend and the Twitter revenue. And so we can use an OR statement. So I hit add criteria, and then maybe your Twitter parameters is UTM source, contains, maybe its UTM source is, let's just say Twitter, and then change this to OR. So now this one segment should group together your revenue and your spend. And that wraps up our new breakdowns manager. Hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much.